Hello and welcome back. I want to talk about the tragedy of Superman 3. Superman 2 was once my favourite movie ever, especially during the 80s and early 90s. I was raised on this movie, more than the first. I found the first one to be boring. No real villain besides Lex Luthor. As an 8-year-old boy, I wanted to see Superman fighting. And in Superman 2, we get that delivered in abundance. The fight scene with the three Kryptonian villains is a spectacle. You feel like you're in Metropolis, the destruction of what these aliens have done to the city. This movie at first glance is everything you want from a sequel. It ups the ante. It brings back the things that you loved and delivers it with a big bow. So why is it such a shit show of a movie watching it now as an adult, probably 500 times later? It is because of all the research of what happened behind the scenes. The main culprit is Richard Lester. People could say no, it was the Salkinds for firing Richard Donner. I like to blame Richard Lester. Richard Lester will have seen the first movie and will have been hired with a huge chunk of an already complete Superman 2 from the work already complete by Richard Donner. Now this guy, Richard Lester, for some unknown reason, already seeing the success of the Superman movie, decides to add comedy by the bucketful. Bad comedy at that. It is like he looked at the first movie and thought, I want to completely alter this. A bit like how Rian Johnson destroyed Star Wars, the same goes here for Richard Lester. Lester wanted to make his own stamp on this sequel, undercutting the previous director, being a yes man to the Salkinds. Superman 2 was a hit. It was always going to be. Before the internet and being the second part in this already well-established Superman movie, the intrigue was already there. Nobody wanted to work with Richard Lester. They all loved Donner. Lester becomes Richard Jester when he gets to helm his own baby in Superman 3. The Salkinds, believing that he was responsible for Superman 2's success, hire him again. And from the get-go of the movie, you see this now comic book world turns into this goofy, unfunny parody of errors. They just keep upping the terrible comedy in this movie. It feels like a Superman movie in tone, but this is where the comparison sadly stops. The movie has heart, and the best scenes are when Clark is in Smallville with Lana. For this, I will give the director some credit. The Smallville scenes are wonderful, and you feel the sense of romance and love shine through from the performances of Christopher Reeve and Annette O'Toole. That being said, we already have a bad taste in our mouths right from the start of the movie. How do we shift this bitter taste which surrounds our palate? We just simply can't. Even though Smallville scenes are wonderful, they get shat on by unfunny side characters, and this lands with the responsibility of Richard Lester. Richard Pryor is a good actor. He's tremendously funny, but he relies on having a potty mouth to do so. When you make a movie for kids, you cannot let the actor roam free. It is one of the weirdest additions to a franchise I have ever witnessed. In the last movie, you had 3 Kryptonian villains taking over the White House. In this, you get Richard Pryor with no knowledge of computers able to hack everything, like he is the villain in Live Free or Die Hard. That movie stole that idea, but we won't talk about that right now. What was he thinking with this storyline? Upping the ante had gone. I know that for every time we watch it, we are secretly hoping that Clark just runs away with Lana. She seems lovely and better suited to him. Lester establishes that too, by ruining Lois. Credit to Margot Kidder for wanting to do minimum work in this one. All down to Lester, the guy undercut one of the most beloved franchises in history. It just isn't talked about enough. Forget about the Salkinds, this was Richard Lester's baby and it shows. The weak villains, the ridiculously unbelievable subplot, Superman 3 has everything you want and everything you hate in a movie. Delivered to you in the guise that it is a sequel to the first movie. Besides a few actors remaining, this is so far removed from the original vision. You ruined the best thing to ever happen to my eyes and brain, so this video is dedicated to you, Richard Lester, and I'm just going to leave that one there. So this video is dedicated to Richard Lester. Without him making a shit version of Superman 3, I wouldn't have made this shit video. So thank you.
See, my take is a little different. My take is that Donner had his finger on the pulse of what the audiences really wanted to see, whereas the Salkinds thought that he was too serious and it wasn't fantasy and comic booky enough, and they thought that, but that's what people want to see. So like, they thought they knew what the audience wanted. They were wrong. Donner knew what the audience wanted, but they were fighting him on it. So ultimately, Lester was giving them what they wanted. So I don't blame Lester. I think I blame the Salkinds. I've had all day to think about this. Fuck them.
Is that what you think?